Okay, so finally got this ceiling just about done. Did the ceiling paint yesterday, and I think it's looking pretty good. Even hard to see, but looks fairly smooth. It's not 100%, but I'm happy. This is one coat. I've got one can and a bit left. So I think the plan for today is I'm going to tackle this plumbing. So once this plumbing's done, I gotta run the hot and the cold to the upstairs, tuck the pipes back there, like I've mentioned 100 times. I'm gonna fix up this little square in the ceiling, and I'll be able to fix this area up and do one more final coat on the ceilings, and then we can start the walls. But right now, I'm doing this. Nice. Right now I'm doing this. And I said I was going to be going back to work. Turns out I have an extra week off of work, so I don't have to go in. So it kind of works out for me. I'll get to plug away at a little bit of this. So right now I'm just cutting the hot and the cold. I'm going to tie in. These are the PEX lines that I mentioned earlier, the PEX lines that I had snaked down from downstairs. Well, here they are. These are going to feed the upstairs. That's for the upstairs bathroom. And then that waste pipe will finally be isolated and tucked out of the way. So this is where I'm at right now. Ooh, hope it goes well. Okay, so first day off from work. The plumbing has been rerouted, finally. So the old copper pipes that were coming upstairs here have been replaced by this nice PEX that can be snaked right behind this column here, this waste pipe. So all up there, it went pretty well. I had to tie in with the old copper, but believe it or not, no leaks. So the old copper is now over here. Those two dreaded pipes that were right in the middle of the kitchen driving me up the wall, they are now gone. What I decided to do at the same time is I pulled the what's left of the kitchen away from the wall. And I just had a piece of scrap, waste pipe there. So I just extended everything along with the hot and cold water. So I got everything away from this back wall now. So like I was saying earlier, my ceiling is pretty much done, looking good. Now, the most of this wall is good, but now that I got this out of the way, I can tackle this hideousness. I can take out that old piece of baseboard. And I'm also going to fix this rat's nest of wiring back there. I do have to run some new wires, I mentioned before. I'm going to need some outlets. My backsplash, I'm going to need one for the fridge, so I'm not running on an extension cord like that, like a refugee. And I'm going to need to move the stove outlet. But that's all doable, and it's going to be much easier now that I got this all out of the way. Finally. And no leaks. So now comes a little bit of cleanup, and I'm going to go to the basement also, have a look, make sure everything is okay. I've got the water on. I got hot and cold water flowing everywhere. So this is where I brought down the PEX, the hot and the cold, and I was able to tie in just as I had planned. This one here I just happened to have on hand. Hard to see, but this is one of the, I mean, these are expensive. They're like $12, $15 each. But literally all you do is shove the pipes in. There's no soldering, there's no screwing, there's no tape. So I had one of these on hand, so I used it. Works like a charm. I only had one, of course, so for this one here, I had to solder. And for whatever dang reason, this particular one, I could just not stop it from dripping. So I did the old trick, shoved some bread in here. Shove a little bit of bread, and then that stops the water from dripping long enough that you can make your solder. So this is all done. Got the hot and cold. Got the house back in order somewhat. I mean, we can flush the toilet, we can use the sink. The water is on, and yeah, I feel pretty good about that, pretty happy. All things considered, you know. considering the situation and the pandemic, if you want to call it, and all the troubles in the world. But because of all that, I did get an extra week off of work. So I'm going to take full advantage of progressing my kitchen. So now I think I'm going to observe this for a little bit, make sure there's no leaks. And then later I'm going to throw a piece of drywall up there. I'm going to mud that little box, that little square there. I let that dry overnight, and tomorrow I'm going to do the final on the ceiling, the final coat of ceiling paint. And I'm going to call that one done after that. And then I can start on the maybe painting the trim and painting the walls. If there's any hardware stores left open, I will try to get some paint. But for now, the plumbing is done. It doesn't look great. It's like our peninsula has turned into a makeshift island, but not quite, because it's got umbilicals there. Kind of hideous, but oh well, it is what it is. It's my project, and yeah, I'm not bothering anyone. Okay, that's all for now. And ta-da! So there's a coat of mud. So now I'm done. So first day that I was supposed to be back at work. Of course, I'm not at work. I got an extra week off, so I feel like I got a good jump start on my kitchen reno. Pretty happy about today. And now it's about 3:30. I'm not sure. It's a beautiful day. Despite everything going on in the world, it's a shitty time, the pandemic and all this, but there are a few things we can still do. I've got running water now, so I'm going to have a nice shower, then I'm going to eat, and then we're going to go for a walk. So just making the best of it. Yeah, it's good progress, good day. And there's Gabby. She has no school. Yeah, nobody does. Okay, signing off.